All right, Phil Lewis is back on the show. Phil, of course, is the lead singer of LA Guns, and they have a new album out April 14th called Black Diamonds. It's a great album, very eclectic, something for everybody. And we're going to discuss that album, plus playing songs live, voice tips, potential tour plans, and so much more. Stay right there. Welcome, Phil Lewis.
Thank you.
LA Guns, how you doing?
Doing great. Fantastic. Thanks.
Glad to hear. Yeah, I think my dad has that same background. The book thing. It's like the exact same one.
The Harry Potter background. Look at the broom.
Okay.
The suspended broom.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
No.
Okay. All right. So new album, Black Diamonds, comes out April 14th. Yeah, I mean, you guys just keep pumping out the albums and they're all good. So I think the biggest problem I would say is trying to figure out what songs to play live, right? That's got to be a challenge.
Oh, big time. Yeah, that really is a problem. Well, first of all, the problem is picking out which ones to do off a new record, because, in a record like the one we just put out, it's so varied. There's so many different styles. So just that alone, picking, say, 2 or 3 new ones, and then the really hard part is where to put them, because we've only got a limited amount of time. We are somewhat obligated to. We have to play the old hits. We've got to play Jane. We've got to play Electric Gypsy. We've got to do that. So the challenge is where to put the stuff. And also it's a little bit heartbreaking because, we call them nuggets, if you will, like the Ballad of Jane, Electric Gypsy, Sex Action. They're evergreens. They're always there. But if we're going to be adding new songs off this new album, it means we've got to clip other new songs from prior albums. So that's always, it's like culling puppies.
Yeah, because it's like this is the 4th one since the reunion. They've all been magnificent. So it's gonna be tough to pick. How long of a set can you do, like vocally singing? I mean, because your voice has to give out at some point, right?
Well, I mean, we could play for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, providing I wasn't singing all the time. There's all kinds of things we could do. We got jams and stuff we could do. But in terms of like song after song after song, I'm kind of bored with it after 90 minutes, to be honest with you. It is, I can do it, but it's just like at that point it becomes a chore.
Okay, yeah. I mean, as a fan, like I'm a pretty hardcore fan, so I could listen to it for 3 hours. But I mean, because there's so many songs I want to hear, it'd be fun to hear all the old ones. But I get it as a performer in 90 minutes. Yeah, it starts to tiring.
Yeah, and some people, some bands, they on the last cruise that we did, a lot of the bands were doing 2 sets. I just couldn't do that. I just I don't have the equipment to do that. My voice, after I sing for an hour and a half, 90 minutes, it closes up and it starts to heal. And the last thing I want to do is go out and blow it out again. So, yeah, I mean,
well,
90 minutes is about as good as you're going to get.
Well, you're in Vegas now. Have you guys ever thought of doing like a residency there and then mix it up and play different new songs every night?
Well, it's not exactly a residency, but we've got a favorite venue that we play here, a place called Vamped. Danny from Counting Cars, it's his place, and we've been playing there for years. And it's a great venue, and we they generally book us 2 nights in a row, and then it's great. Then we can really experiment with new stuff and see what works but we will still, even on 2 nights, we'll still have to play the nuggets and that's okay. That's what got us here in the first place.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the new stuff though God, I mean, there really isn't a bad song. It's like you said, though, it's so varied, it's so eclectic. I feel like the first half is kind of more the Zeppelin stuff, and then kind of the later half of the album is more like the fun, like punk, kind of fast,
Yeah,
kind of old school LA Guns. Like I think one of my favorite songs, probably "Low Life," actually.
yeah. You're absolutely right, and it is. You're right about that. It does start off like heavy Zeppelin-y immigrant song, and towards the end, it does lighten up. It becomes more of sort of the power pop, and the sort of sing along LA Guns that I think people are familiar with. Um, Another issue is when you release an album is song placement. That's
Hmm.
also really tricky. We're old school, me and Tracii, we're kids of the LP, and what's the opening track, what's the third track, what's the last track on the first side, what's the opening song of the second side. That stuff's important to us, and we spend a lot of time thinking about that. And we're just different from other bands that are happy to put out a song here and there. We tend to do the old school, the full length album.
Yeah. How do
And
you? What is the strategy with the song order? I've always wondered that.
um, it's just the Andy Johns taught us how to do it. What you do is you write every song title, and you put it on a table or on the floor, and you look at it, and it generally comes to you, as opposed to listening, just seeing the titles and seeing what goes where. It falls into place pretty good. It's not always it's not a fail-safe way of doing it, but that's how we've done it a lot in the past.
Is there ever disagreements and where you guys say, no, this one needs to be the first song, or
Um, I tend to avoid disagreements. To be honest with you, I like it all, so I don't really care that much. um, it's certainly not. Don't care enough for it to become a squabble or an issue. I have my suggestions,
sure?
and I'm pretty vocal in what I'm what I think is good and what I think is bad too. But if it looks good, it's fine. I just at this stage in my life, I just I'm like I want the easy life, I don't want to. I've been through so many battles, and especially with him, we've had our ridiculous 15-year feud. I don't really don't want to mess with it unless it's something I'm really incredibly passionate about and I feel strongly about, and in which case, yeah. But those are few and far between.
That's good to hear. I like it. So the song,
Y-
your latest single, "Diamonds," which I think that one's out now.
Yeah,
That's kind of a ballad. Talk about the lyrics of that because it's interesting. It says, "I know we're broken, but we shine like a diamond." So
yeah.
it's a we instead of an I. So are you guys referring to the band or just people in general, or?
Um, well, I mean, for a start, let's give Diamond the credit. What it is a power ballad, and it's a big old fucking '80s style power ballad, and there hasn't been one of those in a long fucking time. I think you might be able to assist me here. The last power ballad I can think of, that was uh, a big deal, was "The Flame" by Cheap Trick.
That's a great song.
It is a great song, and that is the epitome of a power ballad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
great
I,
one.
I feel that this is in that same category, and it's a style that a lot of bands have been reluctant to do because it's old school. I mean, it's a kind of an old style way of writing and performing, and I really loved that. And if you think about it, can you think of any other recent power ballads? A lot of bands are shy to do that. We're not.
Not very many that have gotten any airplay or
Right,
recognition. Yeah.
right. And I'm not saying they don't have any, and I'm not sure that they might. I mean, I'd like to be proved otherwise, but for me, I haven't heard any other bands doing stuff like that in a very, very long time, and I'm proud of us for doing that, and being able to do that, and not being shy about it. But to the lyrics, it's somebody was complaining that it's a song that doesn't have a lot of depth. It was just like, what is that? It they felt a bit gypped lyrically, and I think they're missing the point. It is it's really it's the whole thing's a metaphor. Um, and a good one too, and especially like for people fuck ups, that through fault of their own and sometimes no fault of their own. They find themselves broken, and it's a song for the broken. It's a song for those that you know it's shattered, but there's other aspects it can do. It won't hold anything, but it will shine like a fucking diamond. And I think it's very inspirational. And no, it doesn't have a great deal of depth. It's hardly a Peter Gabriel lyric. It's pretty basic, but that's one of the songs that we're going to be doing live, and I'm curious. So that's how that's going to go down, how that's going to sound. This album is very there's a lot going on technically, a lot going on sonically, that on the record that is going to be needed for if we're going to do these new songs. Another discussion we're having at the moment.
Yeah.
But because like the you've got to admit that the vocals on Diamonds are recorded absolutely pristine, and it has to sound that good live. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of backing vocals on there that I'm absolutely completely 100% dependent on. So we haven't actually rehearsed yet. We got the first gig on Wednesday. But we're confident, we know it, and this is what we do. But yeah, we're gonna attempt to do three. We're gonna try and do You Betray. We're gonna try and do Diamonds, and then I think the boys are wrong about you.
Got it
So it's a
wrong.
bit, yeah, no, not got it wrong. Wrong about you. Yeah, got it wrong. Don't get me, got it wrong. That's a different one. Wrong about you is the
Oh, that's the second one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's one. That
So
one sounds kind of like Fastway meets Led Zeppelin. That's what I put on my notes for that one.
lots of that in there. Yeah, sure. That's a good sing along, typical style LA Guns. The other two, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. There's definitely a challenge this time.
I'll
But
be singing along, and I'll have my lighter or my cell phone for
right,
Diamonds. I think
right.
that's
Well, there's a section in Diamonds that I really could do with some audience participation. There's just like these two lines in the middle, that I do my verse, and then we do the choruses and the verse, the band and me singing. But there's a bit in the middle of it. We can shine, we can shine, we can shine, we can shine. I really, really want the crowd to do specifically those four lines. Oh no, shine with me, shine with me. Those four. That's got to be crowd participation, and then the roof will collapse. It will be so fucking brilliant.
I can't wait. I'm coming to the Friday show. It's in Mesa. So it's like the Mesa Music Festival or something. That should be fun.
Okay, that's the second one. Yeah. So we're going to be playing San Diego on Wednesday, and then Mesa on Friday, and then the Whiskey on Saturday.
Oh, that's a great 3 shows. That'll be amazing. And the song, I was going to ask you about this one. Obviously, you're not doing it live, because I would think the song Gonna Lose would be a hard one. Is that hard to sing? Because you're really screaming on that one.
Fuck yeah. It's very hard to sing. I'm surprised that I could sing it. I did sing it, and it's me. It's not like auto-tune or anything like that. But it is. I've never sung like that before, and I've got to give Mitch, my producer, the vocal, records my vocals. He's a good coach, and you know, when we worked on that part, I was like, I don't know if I can get that high, Mitch. And he goes, you know, think about it, you know, try it. And we tried it first time at the end of a day, like we were recording like 2 or 3 songs a day. And at the end of like the second or third day, we said, we just put it up and see what it sounded like, see if I could get anywhere near it. And I could do the verse all right. But when that chorus kicked in, it was like, I was nowhere near it. I couldn't touch it with Country Mile. But I didn't let it freak me out. Was just like, what you do in a situation like that is you got to rewrite it. You just rewrite it in a different key. But I didn't want to do that because I thought it was just such a great part. So I slept on it. I went back to the hotel and I just chilled that night and I just, you know, listened to it a bunch of times and took it easy and went in the next day and I nailed it. It was like the first song we put up, and it was like, wow. But even then, even like fresh in the morning, it was still it took a few runs, you know. But you know, that honestly, I remember Never Enough being difficult to sing when we first wrote it, when we first started performing it. You get used to it after a while. But no, that's not one that I would be insisting that we play live.
Yeah, well, you learned some tricks from Sebastian Bach. I heard you say that, like, he taught you some cool tricks for your voice.
Yeah, you know, we have a mutual. Oh, we had a mutual singing coach, a guy in New York called Don Lawrence, who was also John Bon Jovi's vocal coach. And that's the connection with Sebastian and John and Don Lawrence. I worked with Don a long time ago, but I didn't have. It's kind of customary every time you go to a vocal coach that you bring a recording device and you record the session. And I was curious if Sebastian had any of those from his work with Don. And he made me sign an official a non-disclosure. He said he would send it to me, but I'm forbidden to play it to anyone.
Wow.
Well, you know, it's just us singers making these funny, you know, la 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 noises,
right?
But it works, and it works for me. It works for him. It works for everyone. You know, some people don't need it, like Robin Zander. He smokes a cigarette. That's his warm-up, and goes out and sounds like a bird. So go figure. But you know, but that's him. He's just genius.
Yeah, you had to, because you used to smoke, right? And you had to quit because it was hurting your voice.
No, I was never a smoker. Yeah.
Oh, you've never smoked. So that's one thing that helps you is not smoking.
Yeah, no. I may as well smoke from the secondhand smoke I have to deal with from Tracii Guns, but myself, no, I don't.
But you drink. Does that ever affect it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. makes me sound so much better.
Better.
Oh okay. Yeah. The more I drink, the better I sound.
You're into wine. You're a wine guy, right?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, you know, I don't drink anywhere near as much as I used to. I just, I polish off a bottle of wine, um, without even realizing it. It just goes down that easy. But no, I'll have a glass of wine, a couple of glasses of wine after the show. But now it hurts too much in the morning. The next day it's just like, fuck, I hate hangover.
Yeah. Would you guys do would you do a package like with Sebastian Bach or any other band? I know you did the last one was Tom Kiefer and Faster
Yeah.
Pussycat.
Yeah,
Are you
that
gonna
was
do
great.
something like that again, or?
I hope so. I would like to go out with Sebastian. Stephen Pearcy's in Vegas as well, and the three of us get together. We're like old mates. It's just like, and we always, talk about doing that three band tour. Rat, Sebastian, and LA Guns would be a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely up for anything like that.
Wow, that would be a great package. I'd totally
It would, wouldn't
that.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all get on so well, so it'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So you were saying the backing vocal. So you guys don't use any, LA Guns doesn't use any tracks or anything like that. It's all 100% live.
Yeah. I don't think we have I don't know, we wouldn't know how to do that. It's just like, how, I guess it all starts with the drums, and you have to play to a drum track. So there goes your whole live vibe, because you're playing with a drum machine. So works for Def Leppard, and good luck to them. But we need a little bit more of an oscillation, if you will, in the dynamic. And
who does when you guys are live, who does the backing vocals? Does everyone chime in, or?
They do. Tracie's not much of a singer. He'll be the first to admit. But Johnny and Ace are they fancy themselves as being decent singers. Tracii will do stuff, like lower stuff, and he does it enthusiastically, and he's gotten a lot better. let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Does he have? He's still LA Guns 100%. Does he? He doesn't have any side projects right now that he's working.
He's always got side projects. He's always doing other stuff. It's in his nature. I'd be surprised if he didn't. He's got this thing with Frontiers, and he just wrote and produced a lot of the Todd Kearns record. You know who Todd is?
Yeah, I had him on the show. Slash's bass player, and really good singer too.
Oh, he's great. He's just a fantastic all-round guy, and just a brilliant musician. He can do anything: guitar, bass, sing, anything. A lot of those kind of people here in Vegas. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good scene. It's a lot healthier than the LA scene that I left.
Cheaper too, right?
Oh yeah, much cheaper, and no big deal. We can get to LA in 2 or 3 hours. It's easy to get to. So yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Tracie's. So he's got that Todd. I don't know when that's coming out. So you'll be hearing stuff about it. It should be soon. I think he might be doing another Sunbomb thing with
Michael Sweet. Yeah.
Michael Sweet. I don't really I don't get involved. I certainly don't take it personally that he feels he needs to do other stuff, because he's always been that way. I certainly wouldn't like it. It doesn't piss me off. It would if he wasn't paying attention, or if he wasn't devoting the time to the band, but that's not the case at all.
No, because he's already writing for the next LA Guns too, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's crazy. So what do you do? Do you have other things that you're involved with, other music things, or do you take a break from music? You have other interests or anything?
I do. I mean, they're not music related at all. And my wife's an artist, and so there's always a lot going on. She does a lot of art conventions, and I'm basically her roadie. When I'm not doing music, it's great, being around the art world, and her work is just so incredible, and being around those kind of people it's nice. And they don't know who I am. It's great. They're just completely anonymous.
Is that okay? Do you prefer that, or is it kind of nice sometimes to get recognized? Like, do you ever just walk down the street in Vegas and people are like, "Hey, it's Phil Lewis"? Or
well, yeah, there's that can be nice. Both are nice. I mean, I'm always nice. It's always nice when people are nice about it, and like coming out, "Hey, are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And can we take a picture? Always, yeah, you bet. Other times, when there's alcohol involved, it can be a bit more of a challenge. And like particularly on these cruises, people are really nice and polite and just sweet in the mornings and the afternoons, but at nighttime, when the boat starts rocking, it's really good time to start unlocking your door, because it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise. I'll have to do that.
And walking the gauntlet from the stage back up to your room. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I'm not big on having security walk me around, but on a cruise at night after a show, yeah, definitely.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy, or did you delete and restart your social media or your Instagram or something? Like, I feel like I was looking for you today and I was like, oh, is that what happened? Okay.
I got hacked. I never really, to be honest, I never really wanted to do it. But Tracii was like, "Oh yeah, do it. It's good for the band, and so you should do it." And so I did it, and I suppose the object was to garnish as many followers as possible, and I was doing pretty good. I got up to about 16,000 people, and I'm told that's respectable. And then something happened. It got hacked. I couldn't access it. And the people at Instagram were just utterly useless. I mean, you can't even get hold of them you can't talk to a person. They've got it so sewn up. And I tried for a few days to get it back, and then it just occurred to me what a fucking huge waste of time it is. And that for trying to get it back was excruciating. And then I thought about well, if I don't have it, and all of a sudden I've got so much more time on my hands, and my objective is to try and step away from the phone as much as I can, and go back to reading a newspaper and reading a book, and taking pictures with a camera and not a phone, and that's my objective.
That's a great goal to have. Yeah. So do you have to get going? Do you have another one of these, or?
Yeah, I do. I've got okay. 3 in a row. I'm going to go talk to you and grab a cup of tea. It's been great talking to you, man. I appreciate the questions. Good.
Yep. Absolutely.
Intelligent questions. Appreciate the support, and the records, the songs, and where are you calling from?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay. Oh well, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna see you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, Ace said I could be his special guest, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, we'll sort you out. Okay, I'll see you in a few days then, buddy.
All right, see you then.
Okay,
right.
Bye.
Phil Lewis, always a treat to have him on the show. Great conversation. I'm sure he'll be back again. And the album is called Black Diamonds. It's available April 14th everywhere. I want to thank Phil and his PR team for setting this interview up. And make sure to support Phil and the band by streaming or buying the new album, seeing a show, buying merch, or at least following and sharing their stuff on social media. Of course, you can help the show out the same way by liking, commenting, and sharing the episodes on YouTube and social media. And of course, make sure you're subscribed wherever you watch or listen. If you want to go above and beyond, you can give us a 5-star rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I appreciate your support. Have a great day and shoot for the moon.